Welcome back, everybody. There's the Kubota, there's the torches, and here's me. Stovepipe, the Diesel 40 is behind me. So I want to try and get it hauled in this episode. Not sure if we're going to just get it prepped or we get it hauled too, but we need to get going. So the reason the torches are out here, not waste any time, blade brackets have to come off, and I'm not interested in saving these at all. This one's been broken down here. See how much slack there is everywhere. This one on this side has also been broken brazed. We got a whole lot of clearance going on there. Over on this side, the pivot for the hydraulic cylinder, you can just about stick your finger in there. Sides are all chewed up, and I'm not a fan of these plant choke setups on these 2H series D6s anyway, because they have all their weight to the front. I'd never put one back on, and I still have one of these setups at home from 2H1768, the narrow RD-6. So we're going to use the blue wrench. Yeah, this has been torched and beat, and yeah, we're taking these off with the blue wrench today. So enough talking, let's get her prepped. Well, if that isn't 500% better for getting at everything. I was never a fan of those plant choke blades. All right, weight loss continues. Let's pick the radiator. Taking pony off next. Yeah, go ahead. And as long as we had the tractor on site, Senior popped in, said, hey, let's lift that top cover and just get these thermoid links right out of here. Make splitting that engine off even simpler. So yeah, working on the last one. Oh, that's all right. Not the first one we dropped. All right. Well, the afternoon sun is starting to get low, so we will finish up today with water pump. That's another easy pick. And Big Red is going to be riding like a Cadillac all the way home. Well, everybody, new day, new truckload of stuff. Getting the mainspring out is the first focus of today. So we have to jack it up. Now that we have the nose pointing toward the sky, I can get the camera down in here to give you all a view of what I saw a few days ago. This mainspring has two broken leaves. Look, there's a big gap right here and another big gap here. They've both shifted out this way. So the bulk of all of this weight has been held up mainly by just the bottom leaf and a little bit of help from this top one that bridges the gap. The topmost leaf is pretty much ineffective in this pack now. So this is probably one of the most unstable caterpillars I've ever seen, because not only have we been missing all of the equalizer spring stuff the whole time that keeps this chassis from continuing on back and leaving the track frames up here, but it's also in danger of snapping that one remaining leaf and doing a nosedive. I would not have wanted to have to run this at all in the condition that this mainspring is. So we've got so much broken and damaged under here. To take this mainspring out, I'm just going to take it apart. So we'll cut these bands that go around the packs, bend those out. I'll see about getting at the U-bolt nuts. I'm certainly not getting under this. If I can't access those with the impact, I'll just torch the U-bolts. I've got another good mainspring that I've found, so I'm not that worried about saving most of this. The majority of this, I've got some real doubts about anyhow. So we'll take it out piece by piece. One piece. Well, the more I looked at that mainspring, the more I realized there wasn't anything left to save on that. So I ended up just torching it right in half, pulling the main pieces out. That was the quickest and safest way of getting that out of there. So the engine stand is partially assembled right now. All right, we are resting on it. We have the weight off the jack. Next up now, I've got these two braces. They're each made out of 6-inch C-channel. So one goes on this side, the other one here goes on the other side. And these will hold the front of the transmission housing up after we split the engine off of it. So the way it's going to work, there's two holes drilled in each one. Those two holes will align with this bolt hole and this bolt hole on this flat here. And the transmission housing has a corresponding one on the other side. And it's really simple. They will bolt in right about like that and extend down and come to rest against that diagonal brace that runs back off the track frame to where the dead axle pivot is above the drawbar. So after we disconnect all these bell housing bolts, the engine will already be on the stand. These will come to rest, boom, right down there on each side. So we can still walk this whole thing back without having to worry about moving blocking under that bell housing. And there we go, just like that. There, front portion is installed. Driving the last bell housing bolts out now. We've got a pretty good gap opened up, but we're not on very even ground here, so the engine is going to want to be at a little bit of a discrepancy with the back end. I expect the back end's going to drop a little bit once I get these last bolts out. There, we're apart. Yeah, that's clutch. We have separation. I moved the chassis back about a foot just by prying on the sprocket teeth. That worked well. Our brackets here are keeping our bell housing up. They're squarely down on those diagonal braces. Engine stand fully under the engine. We have that all bolted in. It's solid, looking good. The only thing I'm watching now is to make sure these blade brackets clear the back corners of that engine stand. It's going to be close on both sides. We'll find out once we start winching. So next step is to bring the trailer in. We'll back in here right up to it, and then we see if the winch has enough oomph to pull this chassis up onto the deck. Worst case scenario, we can bring the Kubota in with a secondary pull line if needed, and I'm thinking I'd be surprised if we don't have to resort to that, to tell you the truth. That's my gut feeling. We'll find out once we get the trailer here, so that's going to happen in the morning. Well, here we are, following morning. We come loaded for bear, as my grandpa used to say. We got the red truck, we got Senior, we got the silver truck, we got the gooseneck, we got the Kubota, and we got a spare cable and blocks for the Kubota if we need it. So we're rigged from the winch right now. Have a few snatch blocks in between, all hooked up in series. So Senior's going to tension up. We're going to check our alignment. We'll probably throw that heavy canvas over the cables, and then we'll see how this wants to pull up the back of the trailer.
Ready?
Yep. All right, now is where we're going to start climbing ramps.
Let's put the tarp down.
Yep. And for safety, we threw this old canvas over the top of the cables in case something snaps. That really helps to slow it down. Senior's got the toolbox up there to shelter behind. Okay, blade brackets have cleared the engine stand, so that's good. I'm watching this snatch block for when it goes up over those pipes. I just want to make sure nothing's gonna hang.
I think what I would do is just chain this off now for safety.
Yeah.
Get that done in case something lets loose, it ain't gonna roll down on us.
Yep, good idea. We got plenty of chains.
Yep.
Just keep babysitting that.
There, I think we can redo our whole cable system.
Yep, it's on the flat now. It's pulling easy.
Ready?
Yep. Yeah, we got tongue weight now.
Okay.
I saw the springs go down on the truck.
Okay.
Looking at how it's loaded, we're ahead of the axles. We're good to ship right there.
Good.
Yep. Well, we got turned around. That's where it used to sit. All that's left is the engine. You can see it in the mirror there on the trailer. It is a heavy load, but manageable.
Okay, we got Big Red hooked up, and so far pulled her back this far. Rolls really easy, kind of a little slope here anyway. He figures you're just going to give her a pull and just let her go. We'll see what happens.
I feel like I ought to be wearing a mullet for this.
Yeah, he thinks he needs a mullet for this. We'll see if we can get something viral going here. There he goes. I'm going to stand back. Over center, just about, there we go. Now she'll freewheel. Oh, actually done pretty good.
You see the rust that came out of them tracks?
Yeah. It definitely shook a little bit of dirt and rust off. Well, there she is.
Back for load number 2.
Sorry guys, no viral stuff going on here today.
All right, hooked up to our engine skid. Senior's on the controls. Let her rip. We're looking good down here. It's gonna have to guide itself up onto those angles now. There we are. It's tracking well. All right, breakover point right here. Up, up, up. We're hanging on that side.
She might go now.
I think you're started up, but I'll just keep a little bit of pressure on it.
I'll just bump it.
Yep. I think it'll go. Yep. Life just got easy. Okay, you're pretty close right there. If we straighten it out, we're right down the center board.
Now we should be able to put this right in the middle.
Yep, straight pull. I'd say you're probably about into the fair lead right there.
Well, pretty successful day. Everything loaded up and on the way home. Here we are, arriving back at the homestead.
All right, everybody, stovepipe has been hauled. Yes, we still have to offload the engine, but I'm going to lighten this up a bit more, probably pull the cylinder head and front cover and injection pump and flywheel. And the lighter you get them, just the easier they are to move all around. But all in all, I would say the haul went rather well today. So that's good. The chassis over here, I'll just, as long as I've got the tractor back, I'll probably tow this over to where the narrow RD-6 is sitting over there, so we can, just for convenience, start peeling pieces off of this, breaking it down. Boy, the more I look at this old bugger, oh, it's wore. Oh, it's got some bad wear. Track's all snake and crook, and yeah, that's why it's the perfect wrecker. It's perfect parts unit. So I guess I'll leave off with a final parting thought. The comment section's been kind of interesting the last few episodes. People would have had me buying anything from a large used excavator to make my life easier, to a semi with a low bed trailer to make my life easier, to an all-terrain forklift to make my life easier. I say we confuse convenience with necessity far too often. Are those things nice to have? Certainly. Are they always necessary? No. And I think we proved that here. We got this moved just fine, and we didn't really do anything that was that difficult. Time-consuming, yes, but difficult, I would say no. The core issue that I see with the reaction to just buy a larger machine to solve the problem that's in front of you can lead to a snowball effect where when that larger machine breaks, which it's not an if, it's a when, what are you going to use to work on that then? Are you going to buy a larger one still? And then when that one breaks down, do you buy a larger one again? And so on and so forth until eventually you'll hit that wall where your largest machine will be down and you won't have anything big enough to work on it. And then you have to get creative and start using your brain and your hands. And I would rather just avoid all of that and cut right to the chase and do what I have to do with the equipment that I already have. And that's what we did here. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I hope you found it entertaining, and I hope you'll be back for the next one.